Hey everybody, assalamu alaikum. This is Brother Clifton Raheem Bradley of the Underground Railroad Television Show in Chicago. Yes, the United States of America. And it's a crazy world. And you know what? We're going to talk about it before have my guest come on, David Kas, my brother from my other mother. I'm going to say hi to people in the United States, believe now, believe, yes, and Canada, United States, Africa, Europe, the UK, and Australia and China for the Muslims that are being persecuted in China. You know what? I always pray for you. Always, always, always. And I have David Kas, who has his own YouTube page. And you know what? His link is in the description. Plus, he has a Facebook page. He's my friend. He's my friend, my brother. We different colors, but we still brothers. Because it's all about what's on the inside, not what's on the outside and in your mind. So you're looking at the Underground Railroad, and we're coming on, and I'm gonna let David Kas, my buddy, come in, and I'm gonna be quiet. Yeah, assalamu alaikum.
Hello, Clifton,
Alhamdulillah,
in
alhamdulillah.
Chicago, Illinois. I'm in Venice, California still, and it's cloudy out here today.
Yeah, okay. And David, let me tell y'all something. Me and David go way back. But you know what? We go back because he's knowledgeable. He's intelligent. And he's been giving you news that you need to use on his page for years. Okay.
Thank
So
you,
David,
Clifton.
tell
Thank
us
you.
something about yourself, brother. I'm gonna turn the volume up, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Well, there's a lot of things to talk about today, Clifton, but myself, I'm just getting old and gray here. I just turned 66 this year, so
What?
I just shave it all off. I just shave it all off. It'll all be gray on me.
Congratulations.
But there's so much to talk about, and there's so many things going seemingly wrong, but I think they're all propelling us to do the right thing eventually. That's why they're going so wrong. I mean, the gas prices are high, the immigration is coming in the country. We're sending like $40 billion over to Ukraine in aid and weaponry, and we're not even finishing the pipeline up to Canada, so our gas prices are going up, up, up. So, but all these bad things are to make us wake up and get our acts together and do it the right way. I think. I think that's what it's for. I think that's why the Creator's doing this to us all.
Well, wait a minute, David. Even before we get started, brother, you got please. Implore you to tell us where your YouTube page and your Facebook is. I know you want subscribers, I want subscribers. So tell us where your YouTube page is and actually tell us what the content is.
Well, on my YouTube page, you go to www.youtube.com/C/David L. Kaas. That takes you to my YouTube page, and I got a lot of different videos there to be viewed. And or you go to Facebook and just friend me. I'm with David Kas, Kaas, and I'll answer you and make you a friend of mine on my page. But Clifton, what I wanted to talk today about, one of the things was we got an unspoken of problem in this country. Actually, it's in the world. It's been here for a long, long time, and it's referred to as our gay, lesbian crowd nowadays, and now we have the transgender, transsexuals involved. Yeah. But this also includes the midgets and dyslexics.
Yeah.
And all these people are all looking at each other and all looking to the doctors and to the scientists and even some to the religious leaders and looking for answers. And I don't hear any answers from any of these people coming, forthright and whatnot. So that's one of the things I wanted to discuss with you today. How does this happen? Why are some guys born real feminine and some girls born like they're called dykes? Like guys in women's bodies. And I want to know. I was always wondering myself why. Why does this happen? And yet there's other people around like me and you that are normal, get married, have children, and practice our faith and whatnot. I always wondered, well, what it comes down to is the reincarnation is happening to these individuals, and this is the result in this lifetime for them of the accumulation of what you could consider bad karma. That's a bad thing they've done, and it's accumulated to the point where you might pop out. You might be a beautiful woman. You might have a gorgeous face and long hair, but you might only have one arm.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Why? Why did this happen to me? Well, it's karma. It's bad karma accumulated over, several lifetimes for this individual. It could happen with men too. But people wonder, well, how come I'm not normal and you are?
Well, you know what I gotta say to that, David? I ain't saying nothing because something. These algorithms, brother. They put me. In one of the social media's platforms, they put me on under house arrest. So I ain't saying nothing, brother. I mean, if that's what you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, but I tell you this: as a Muslim, it goes against Islam.
Yeah, well, it goes against what I was raised as a Catholic to believe too. You're not supposed to do that, but in the Catholic religion, they're much more forgiving, and of the ones that did fall off the righteous path, and they always would welcome them back and try to influence them to do the right thing. But it's difficult to do the right thing when you don't understand what the heck's going on to yourself, in the first place.
Would you say, David, with all due respect to Bruce Jenner, okay, who the Bruce Jenner who got a operation?
Yeah, his name Caitlyn now.
He classifies himself as a woman. What do you think about it, and do you think that transgenders should have the ability to compete with women in contests?
Well, that's a particular case scenario, and as with any cases brought before a judicial court, they have to hear out the facts and figures to decide, what the best recommended direction to go would be. Now, with Bruce Jenner, Lynn Jenner. So, hey, man, what do you do to yourself? This is your incarnation as a male, and you're supposed to live up to what's required of the males, right?
Can you tell us who Bruce Jenner is? Somebody out there that don't know who Bruce Jenner is.
Bruce Jenner is a star athlete. And when I was in high school, I used to eat Wheaties out of the Wheaties box in Iowa, and he used to be on the cover with his
Olympian,
pole vaulting pole in his hand or whatever. Yeah, I always looked up to that guy. And now he got married to, Kardashian and whatnot out there, and he got the sex change. But I still feel for the man. I feel for that spirit, whether it's a male or a female. And that's FEE space MALES. This incarnation for him, he was put in a nice looking man's body, given a lot of talent, and he even had a lot of opportunities in life. But still, he wants to change his sex. I mean, they go on television and who knows, run for public office one of these days. Come on, man. But the problem nowadays that I see, Clifton, is our women, our females, are all putting the cowboy boots on and the jeans and climbing on the horses and doing the male routines in government as CEOs of companies. They've moved out of the home, with the children. They're they're actually taking over the judges and the Congress and Senate now. Nancy Pelosi's head of the Congress, Speaker of the House. So the females, their intelligence factor is something that the males are having trouble matching up one for one. Yeah. And the female vote in this country is like 3-1 at least. There's 3 women for every male voter in this country. So this next election, it's going to be up to the females to pool their power of their vote and vote in one direction. And whatever direction that is, that's who's going to get elected. I bet you. I mean, we as men like to think it's a man's world, but it ain't a man's world no more, Clifton. It's a female's world now.
Well, I read it language.
It is. I mean, we can still play the king's role and sit back and do nothing, but the women, they're hustling. They're the hustlers, and there's too many of them too.
You know what they say? Yeah, you gotta love them.
I love them all. I love all you females, but you got to listen to some common sense and some good reasoning here from some old guys like us. We need to turn back some of the rules and regulations like Roe versus Wade. We need to correct some of our accepted norms of behavior, like keeping a person alive till death does he part for doing a heinous crime. We gotta agree to house, clothe, and feed him and pay for a guard 24 hours a day. Now that's crazy. Just give him a shot, put him to sleep.
I would like to ask you before we get to abortion, what I would like to ask you is, do you think it's fair that a parent should have to submit their children to be mandatory to learn about the LGBT movement, and to follow up with that question, why is it that you need a permission slip to send your child to the zoo, but they don't need a permission slip to teach your child about the LGBT movement? I would like to ask you.
Well, at the moment, our educational system is faltering a bit. But at the same time, it's expanding, trying to include, be more inclusive, let's say. So they want to educate the children about what they're going to be dealing with in maybe just the years ahead. Before they even get out of high school, they might have a person in their class or 2 or 3 that are, these swapped spirits in the opposite form of body. Clifton, one day when I was at a store and a beautiful woman came walking up, nice clothes, high heels, everything, and she walked up and she stood next to me and she turned to me and she said, "Hey, where's the guy that's supposed to help us?" in a man's voice. And I freaked for a second, but then I realized that this is what one of these transvestites, or males in female bodies, and I just started talking to the woman guy, and we had a nice conversation for a few minutes. But there's a lot of these types of people around, and they're really kind of messed up, and they don't know what's going on, and they don't understand why they got this physical form. Because the general idea is you're born here, you're going to die here, and you're supposed to do the best you can. But how can you do the best you can when you're swapped into the opposite body that you think you're supposed to be in, and you look like that? It's like, oh my God.
Mr. David, I would like to ask you that question again. I said, why is it okay to teach a child about the LGBT movement, but you need a permission slip to send my child to the museum, and you don't need a permission slip?
Well, the permission
to impose these concepts and this knowledge on my child, but you need a permission slip to go to the zoo. Could you address that?
Well, to go to the zoo means that your child is going to be going outside the school property, off school grounds. So there's always a chance that anything can happen to that child. I mean, it could be killed in an accidental accident, or it could be kidnapped or whatever could happen to it. So in order to allow your child to be taken off the school property with a teacher or with, on a field trip, they need this permission slip from the parents okaying that. Otherwise, if the child doesn't have the permission slip, the child doesn't get to go that day with the rest of the class. That's what the permission slip is for, is to release the school from, insurance that would, be in place if the child was on the school grounds for 8 hours in a day. That's what the permission slip's for.
Okay. But you know what, man? Before we go to abortions, there was something in the news, and you know what? Me and you both believe in UFOs. There was something in the news where the Congress had a sub Senate meeting talking about UFOs, and they were showing it on television, saying they exist. What was your opinion about that? Do you have a perspective on that hearing that took place?
Well, first of all, they know a lot more than they're talking about, and they're not saying what's really going on. Did you know all the nuclear weapons have been shut down or taken out of the skies as soon as they're fired? So they know this. They know this, and they're still talking about nuclear weapons being used over in the Ukraine by Russia. No, it's a switch tactic. Once again, they're not telling the truth. They know also that there's been sightings of hundreds of craft altogether in a few different situations. I've seen pictures of them on Facebook, and they know this has been taking place. And they also are fully aware of the passing of the planetary nemesis Nibiru system in just a few months. So they're not talking about anything. But, the general populace is wise to a lot of things that are going on, especially with the crop circles and the individual sightings like in Arizona and whatnot. So this just shows us all what a lie our government's putting up, how bad our leaders really are. And I don't have to tell you about Joe, Sleepy Joe. He's probably asleep by now. But it's like we get to see these things, Clifton. It's not so much anymore whether this or that's going wrong. It's like everything's wrong. Everything everywhere is wrong. So we as a nation, as a people, and all you females out there, time to wake up. We can correct the direction this ship is going. We don't have to go down, and we don't have to go the wrong way. In this next election, we have to require a hand-counted ballot, and we can get some people into office that'll make it work for all of us.
I have to ask you, how's Joseph doing?
I talked to him a few times, and he's kind of chuckling.
You got to tell people who is Joseph anyway. Okay.
Joseph is my contact with the Galactic Federation of Planets.
Okay.
We met about 32 years ago, and he's been feeding me different information about different subjects which concern us all. But he told me a while ago he's going to come on a program here with me in Clifton, but he said, just wait. He goes, I like to watch them, but I'm not going to come on quite yet.
Please give him my regards, okay?
He said to tell you hello.
Yeah, okay. Because you know what? I think maybe he can't come on because he might. Did you ever see Star Trek? Maybe it's a Prime directive where he can't get involved.
It could be. He could have the Prime directive, and he's just waiting, Clifton. He's just waiting. But I was more nervous about this whole thing a year ago when we started this, and now I'm starting to get a little chuckle in my step, and I'm starting to feel good about everything, And you are too.
Hey. I'm back in school, man, and you know what? Something about David in the audience that listening out there. I am in school, and you know what? It makes me realize it's a lot that I don't know. And you know what? Keep on educating yourself because knowledge is forever change, ever change.
Oh, you know, a site that is very educational is Farsight Prime.com. A guy named Farsight Prime.com. A gentleman named Courtney Brown and his son Aziz and a couple different people that work for him. They're remote viewers, and they take subject matter and they go into the trance state individually, and they record what they see, and he compares the notes, and it's amazing. It's amazing the information they've uncovered and found out. The most recent one was the crucifixion ruse that I watched, and that tells a story of how Jesus wasn't crucified, that someone was swapped in his place the last minute, and he escaped, went down to India, and spent 35 years down there before he passed on. But it's just amazing what they found out and what's been revealed. But another part that I've heard from Courtney Brown on his FarsightPrime.com channel is that the reptilians and the beings from the planet Orion are the ones that are intervening with 4 different popes and with Putin and his generals in the Ukraine. And that's what's going on right now. See, the reptilians have been controlling the leaders in this country for a long, long time for war, conflict. And then the gray greens came, and they're helping them out now. So that's what's doing all this, unbelievable, nasty stuff, and nobody can believe it. How it just keeps piling up on us, but it's coming from the reptilian race and the gray greens and the beings from Orion. But Joseph has communicated this to me and directed me to Courtney Brown's website, FarsightPrime.com, and they have a 7-day program there for anybody that wants to get on their website and check it out. So I recommend everybody.
Is the link on your page? The link is on your YouTube page, or Facebook page.
Yeah, I've got it up there all the time. Okay. But like I say, just type in FarsightPrime.com, go there and subscribe for 1 week and see what you think. I think you'll like it.
Brother David, there is something going on in the Supreme Court with Roe versus Wade. I would like to ask you something. That's dealing with abortion. I would like to know, do you think that it is okay to get abortion, or do you consider it murder? What do you consider? And does a woman have a right to choose?
Well, like I said before, it's an individual kind of case scenario, and every case has to be weighed out. Now, if we had 2 7th graders that were going out and they got pregnant, I wouldn't hold either of them responsible, and I would suggest that we educate them whether it be born or not. The female.
You're breaking up.
I said that it would be a question for the parents of the female whether they wanted to have that child adopted, delivered. It would be up to them. But
so you're saying is, in your opinion, it is not murder, in your opinion, to abort a embryo, a child, a living organism that is inside a body. It is not murder, in your opinion.
Well, the word murder usually constitutes a crime where you have a victim and someone who commits the crime, and it's a little more complicated than just slapping somebody and saying yes or no. Is this murder or not? We have to hear the case and qualify it and see whether the woman was raped, whether she knows the rapist or not. If you're a woman and you were raped in the middle of the night, you didn't even know who got you pregnant, would it be wrong to make that woman carry a pregnancy full term and deliver?
I got to retract the question. Go ahead. I got to retract the question.
There's always situations, and there's always an if or a but involved. So, as far as abortions go, I would say that since we've advanced to the point of being able to decide whether it's right or wrong, that's what we each need to do. Um, like I was saying before, when I was talking about the gays and the lesbians and the transgenders, we need to adopt celibacy as men before marriage once again, like they
What
did in
is
the
celibacy for people that don't know? What is
celibacy is where a man abstains from having sex,
okay?
period, until he's married, because
Yeah.
it's kind of it's kind of a sacrificial thing, and it's special, and it's supposed to be regarded as such. So this whole idea of getting on an airplane going to Las Vegas and nobody knows what happens there, uh, that's not really conducive to getting into heaven, so to speak, or going to New York City and going out and staying out at the bars all night long and getting hammered. That's not really conducive to getting into heaven, but it's something that our society has been promoting and touting for a long time. So we need to get our facts and figures back together as far as what we all are doing, whether we're gay, straight, transgender, dyslexic. We need to, review the do's and don'ts.
Yes.
And if we all begin to do the right thing, then I think the world will begin to change dramatically. But if we ignore what we're supposed to be doing and we all just keep doing whatever we want to do, I think the Allah, the Creator, God, He's gonna bring China in, and they're gonna take over this country and make us all eat rice for a while. long while, the rest of our lives.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm not saying this out of jokingness or anything. I'm saying this out of seriousness. When we send $40 billion in armaments to help the Ukrainians, we're actually weakening ourselves. And the Chinese know this. And they're just sitting and waiting with that 100 million man army and all their submarines just waiting off the coast of California to come and take us over. So, it's like our government is a sham. Our leaders are all crooks. So women, men out there, if you want this to go on, it's only going to last a little while longer, and it's all going to come crashing down.
Alhamdulillah. I want to go back to abortion and ask you.
Sure.
Okay. Now, as an interviewer, I have to ask. What I would like to know is you put up the circumstances if a woman is raped. I would agree with you. If a woman is raped, uh, it's incest, a rape by her father, a taken by force. But under normal circumstances, would you consider abortion to be murder? Would you? And should they reverse Roe versus Wade? Should they leave it to each state to decide for themselves?
Well, I think Roe versus Wade came into effect because we had a large group from the 1960s and 70s that were into free love, and the whole idea was kind of still blossoming in our youth back then. But Roe versus Wade, we've seen enough of the controversy and enough of the abortion has gotten out of hand. They're using baby parts and the adrenochrome and all kinds of the things which are not necessary and actually bad that come from the ability to abort these children so frequently and so rapidly and so readily. So we need a review of every case, and we need the parents to become involved if that's the case, or say someone is an alcoholic, a cigarette smoker, or say and they're doing cocaine, and maybe they have a chance to do some heroin. They get pregnant. Now, do you think that's a good idea, Clifton, to carry that child full term and give it life?
it's questionable, but I'm asking you: do you think that the state should have the ability to decide?
No,
No.
the
Okay.
only person to decide is the parents or the local officials in that district, that town, that city, or whatever. If
Hmm.
they need to be, then they should be called in to decide the case for the individual. This is only when the individual can't decide for themselves, you know.
Okay. Okay.
But every case has to be handled, individually and with forethought.
Hmm. Now, David, as we're talking, we're going to go back to you. Where can people go to your YouTube page to see your content? And where can they go to your Facebook page to see your content? Well,
Well, they can go to my YouTube page and they can watch the new cures for cancer, the new molecular south spun fluid concept.
hmm hmm
They can watch my political campaign this last 2020 election, which has been proven to be tampered with by China. But the diebold systems were just as bad. You know,
hmm
they learned how to insert the code when they wrote the systems, and ever since we had the diebold machines for 30 years, they've been writing the code and inserting the winning president every single election. It's
mm
every single election. Doesn't matter what you voted, no matter how many people voted, no matter who you voted for.
hmm
It's who they wanted to put in there, and that's who got elected.
David, there was a mass shooting that took place.
Yeah.
And I would like to ask you, I forgot what city it was. How many black people got killed? But people are people. But black people got killed. And plus something happened inside of a somebody from China killed a group of people dealing with Taiwan. I would like to ask you about the NRA, the National Rifle Association. Do you think that it's justified that an individual ought to have the ability to buy a machine gun?
I think the individual should have the ability to buy whatever kind of gun he wants, whatever kind of gun he needs.
So if
Okay.
they want to buy a machine gun, it's okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna follow up, but go ahead and tell me why.
no, but I mean, everybody should be able to purchase a handgun, a rifle, a machine gun, whatever they want. Whatever you need, whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, you should be able to purchase and carry in your bag, and you should be able to get a license for it too. And you might go to a restaurant, and they might ask you if you have a weapon, and you might say yeah, and they might say, well, you have to check it in. Okay. Or you go to a bar, and you might have to check your weapon in. That's fine too. But we should be allowed to protect ourselves and our children, and especially in this day and age with so many immigrants coming in the country that can buy these weapons on the street illegally.
Mm-hmm.
It's really upping the ante for all the normal, honest, hardworking people. They want to protect themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
my vote would be yes.
So it's just
Give them
so it's
the
just
guns and let us take care of ourselves.
so it is justifiable to be able to buy a machine gun that can shoot off 50 rounds in 10 seconds. Okay. I just wanted to hear you.
Well, in Iowa, we got shotguns and we got pistols. And as a kid, we were shooting BB guns at each other.
Some people believe, some people believe that she had a right to bear arms again because at some point our own government may turn against us. Do you think that's possible?
Well, I think anything's possible.
Okay.
Yeah, anything. I I can see everything in this country gone bad, but it's gone bad for a reason. It's gone bad because we got bad leaders, we got bad government, we got the crooks in our seats of power, we got some dirty police officers, and
Mm-hmm.
we just got to clean house. That's what we got to do. It's like cleaning house in the springtime, Clifton. You know how you got to get rid of all that junk that's been piling up.
Yeah.
Just making too much mess.
As you're from California, can you give us a synopsis, a picture of what is going on in California with the homeless and the gas prices. What is going on in California for people that are looking at this in other regions and other cities and locations? What's going on in California? Because California is a microcosm of the United States. Can you
Right. Well,
give us
actually, California or Los Angeles here has me still stumped. We got the refineries out here, but we're paying the highest price for the gasoline. So that right there, just like everything else, there's a reason for it, and it's not a good one. So that's what's going on with the gas. We got up to $7.50 or $6.50, $6.75 a gallon, and the refineries are all out here. So that's pretty crazy. What'd you say? But the homeless problem, they got a new guy that's running for mayor, and he says that if he gets elected, he's cleaning up the streets. So
you're gonna send them to the FEMA camps.
yeah,
Is that it, brother? They're
open,
gonna send them to the FEMA camps. Is that what
that's
they're
the
gonna
only way you can do it. Those people.
Oh, you're talking about a new world order system.
Well, these people
Are
won't.
you trying to say they're trying to implement a new world order system? Come on, David. Come on.
No. These people will not go to work. You can give them a job and they won't do it. They've been out of work for too long. They've been sleeping on the street for too long. They're gone. They're kind of the walking zombies of today, and they don't want to do anything. And besides that, they're all, half of them are drugged or drunk all the time. So, and they're homeless. They don't want to work. They don't have vehicles or anything. So the problem out here in Los Angeles is they got thousands of them, and they have pet fires and stabbings and whatnot. So,
excuse me, it's prayer time, but go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
This gentleman, I can't remember what his name is, Caruso or something. I think he'll probably get the mayorship, and we'll see whether he can make a difference or not. I don't know. They all talk a great ball game, but they don't do much.
But you're saying that they're working to implement a new world order government. You're saying that the homeless that are in California is grown and they should put them in FEMA camps.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's about the only thing I could say they could do with them immediately.
What is a FEMA camp?
But you got people up in San Francisco too. You got people in Sacramento, down all the way down to Los Angeles. So you've got this problem, and it's not just California's problem. The problem is it's all 48 states, 49 states, emptying people here on the Greyhound bus every year. One-way tickets out here in the fall. They come from all the states in the union, and it's just natural. All the birds fly south in the winter.
Well, you say when you make the statement they should send them to FEMA camp. What is a FEMA camp? First of all, I know what a FEMA camp is, but the audience may not know. What is a FEMA camp? What are you talking about?
Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, FEMA camps, and they're not open yet. If I got it right, but they're all set up and ready on railroad tracks outside of the cities. So, it's pretty obvious they're going to be taking the prisoners there one of these days. Who's going to be prisoners?
Well, let me ask you a question. You know what? Once they get in the FEMA camps, what are they going to do to the people? What are they going to do? I already know. I'm asking you.
What I understand, the FEMA camps are all set up for all over the country, all on railroad tracks. They're part of the Agenda 21 plan.
What is Agenda 20? What is Agenda 21 for people
Agenda 21 is a plan to rid the entire planet of 90% of its populace by 2030. And
wow.
Then herd the rest of the remainder into the FEMA camps. Now, why would they want to put the FEMA camps up and put the people in the FEMA camps? Well, it's like cattle. You want to keep them in the pen, and you keep them in the pen to raise more cattle. They have babies, and then you can take the babies and drain their pituitary glands of hormonal extract to create adrenochrome.
So,
for
so you
their own.
are you saying in the FEMA camps they are not going to treat the people well? Are you saying that? Am I misunderstanding?
I don't know. I would think they would treat the people fairly well. I mean, give them 3 squares a day and a bunk to sleep in, and but just keep them congregating and milling around and reproducing children. They take the children away, and then they use the children, like I say, for medical purposes. But
Hmm.
that's what the FEMA camps are for: is to house, clothe, and feed our human cattle. One of these days soon.
But they're going to be good to the people, not oppressive to the people. I'm
Well,
asking.
it'll
I'm
be like
asking you.
it'd be like if you had a bunch of cows in your backyard, Clifton. That's what we do in Iowa, or horses or pigs or whatever. You're good to them, take care of them, keep the
They're
wolves
going
out
to
of
care.
there.
You say in the FEMA camps, they're going to care for the people. They're going to treat them nice, and they're going to be gentle with them. Okay. I just want to hear you say that. I just want to. I already know what's going to happen, but I'm interviewing you.
Well, to some degree, they wouldn't like me and there or you because we'd be rebel rousers. But
No, you would have
it's,
said
it's
I got a
very
different view.
populist.
You would
It's
have
very
said, man, I got a totally different view, but I'm interviewing you.
Well, if you can imagine the people in the FEMA camps being dumbed down to the point of not knowing anything anymore, not wanting anything anymore because they got all they need, and they just get up and have a nice day outside and go back, sleep the night away.
But
That's,
you're saying by analyzing what you're saying, you said they are not going to be oppressive to the people in the FEMA camps. They're going to be nice and gentle and good. Are you saying that?
well, how impressive do you have to be to your cattle when they're behind barbed wire fence? You can be pretty nice to them. They ain't going to go nowhere. They ain't going to do
So
nothing.
So David,
Neither
I'm
one
going
of
to tell
them.
some people out there, to people, David is saying that when you are herded to the FEMA camps, they're going to be nice, gentle, and kind to you. Am I misunderstanding you?
They even may give you a shot before you go to sleep at night just to help you sleep soundly.
Up
Free
to them.
dental and health care too.
Up to,
All
up to,
provided at the FEMA
uh,
camps. But this is something that we got to wake up to and become aware of. And
yeah.
I'm like I said before, I'm saying this tonight to all the ladies out there, women, girls, and their mothers, wherever you may be. This is what the FEMA camps are for, and this is what's going to do with them. So, ladies, don't listen to this Democratic jargon. Don't listen to these female politicians.
Hmm.
Don't listen to the Republicans either, because they're just as much in cahoots with the Democrats as far as running the whole government right into the ground. There's a bunch of socialists that got control right now, and that's why everything's going to hell in a handbag. But that's what's really going on. Really.
You know what, man? I want to come to the war in Ukraine, and I want to ask you something. And from your perspective, who is right? Are the Russians right? Is NATO right? Is the United States right? Who is right? Who is
I,
right?
I've
And
got I've got people at work where I work at. I'm a security guard in a high-rise apartment building, and there's people there from the Ukraine. There's a woman there just came back from the Ukraine and
mhm,
told me her sister and her sister's daughter are still there, and she's worried about them. Now,
mhm,
what's going on is the Russians have gone down there because NATO had gotten into the Ukraine. The Bidens were getting money payoffs there from the Khazarian mafia. They're selling
mhm,
body parts out of the Ukraine. And so the Russians and Putin went down there to get rid of them. And they
mhm.
haven't taken out one single nuclear reactor, but they bombed the apartment buildings and the roads and whatnot just to get the Khazarian mafia out of there. Now, what this woman who's from the Ukraine told me is she says, that Khazarian mafia will just move to the next country right next door. And they'll have to go over there and blow that place up. And then if they do that, they'll have to move to the next one. So that's what's going on over there. And
You
us
know,
giving them military aid, $40 billion is absolutely perfect plan to weaken this country and set it up for destabilization for China to come in and take it over.
do you
So
think do you think that China is a threat to the United States of America? Do you think that China is the new juggernaut? When I say juggernaut, do you think they're the giant. They're emerging. They're going to be the power.
Well, it's whatever Allah wills for us, and or God, the Creator. And if he doesn't, if these people in the United States do not vote for a new plan, which actually embodies the 7 Mosaic feast days, he's told me China's going to come in there and make mincemeat of you guys, make you eat rice and drink cold water, take cold showers for the rest of your lives. So, but it's a kind of thing we got to do the right thing, Clifton. And that's why I said to all you ladies out there, we got to do the right thing, ladies. It's high time.
Man, I want to tell the people out there, no matter what happens, as long as I hold on to the ropes of Allah, my world gonna be all right, bro. Right. I'm only visiting, bro.
Well, at Göbekli Tepe, Turkey, that site over there, they unearthed a few years back. It goes back to before the Younger Dryas era, is what they call it. Before 12,000 years ago, there's all these 8,000-pound teas, like this, and all the archaeologists are scratching their chins and scratching their heads trying to figure out what that T stands for. The T is an old sign which actually has mankind's progression from the ground up to a point in time that we're now at, where we can go to the left or to the right. If we go to the right, we'll have peace for 1,000 years here. That means we'll be following the 7 Mosaic feast days. And we'll also be offered an allegiance to join the Galactic Federation of Planets. They exchange personnel and have it going on for 1,000 years here. But if we don't want to, if all you females out there want to vote for a Democrat or a Republican, then we're going to have a recalling of God's elect. Myself and Clifton will be gone. Poof. And then China comes in and takes over. So that's
David, hold on a minute. David, you so advanced. I mean, I got to keep notes to keep up with you. Go ahead, bro.
Well, that's what happens. That's what's known as a rapture. You've heard the word rapture, haven't you, Clint?
Yeah. I heard a song called "The Rapture of Love."
Right.
About Anita Baker, when I loved Anita Baker. Now, go ahead.
Well, this is God's rapture, and that's when He takes his elect off the planet instantly, and then brings China in to clean up the mess here. So,
I would like to ask you something about China. The United States has lost many, many, many jobs to China. I would like to ask you, I'd like to ask you something. How can the United States compete with China in manufacturing if their workers get paid far less? I'm going to give you an example. If you're producing a product and I'm producing a product that's lower than yours, it's lower in price and the same quality, the higher quality, you can't compete with me. I'm going to outsell you every time. So how can the United States? You can't compete with me if I can sell a low price of a product at the lower price. Okay.
Well,
and it's just an experience. How?
Let's take computers, for instance.
Yeah.
These laptops. I've got a laptop, a Dell laptop, sitting in front of me for $500.
Yeah.
Now, 20 years ago, you couldn't buy that Dell computer for $500. You might be able to get another brand for maybe $3,000, right? Because that's what the price was. $3,000 when computers first came out, $5,000 for a home computer. But now you get one for like $400, $500. So it's obvious to me that these computers are being punched out mechanically on machines and then just being thrown together real simply, right? We can do this.
I'm asking you. I got to rephrase the question. How can you compete with me in manufacturing if I can produce a product that's lower in price than you and is superior in make? How can you compete with me? You can't do it.
What we need to realize is we have the brains over here. they have the ability to copy anything we can think up, but we just aren't using our physical ability to produce it here. We're giving them the ideas. In fact, our leaders, our president, is giving them all the ideas that we're coming up with right here. So
I'm asking, how can you compete? I'm asking, how can you compete with me?
Well,
How
you
you can?
compete
You
by
got,
just
you know what?
by
Can I
no
tell you?
competition. You don't need to compete.
Can I tell you something? Because you got union workers that want $20 an hour, and I got somebody that wants $2 a day. You can't compete with me. China is the new juggernaut. China.
Well, at the moment, things are looking pretty bad. I agree. But when this planet rotates 70 degrees, whoever gets the new South Pole and North Pole, they're going to have a real cold winter up there all winter long. It's going to be ice and cold 24/7.
And they're making cyber attacks. I would like to ask you: do you think that the China politicians are smarter and wiser and savvier than the American politicians?
No, I don't think they're any smarter than we are. But
smarter than the average kid, yeah.
But to be smart about something, you have to have an understanding of what we're talking about. You know, are they smart about oil from the ground that gets refined into gasoline? Or are they smart about using wind and solar power? You know, or are they the best at raising food crops? You know, that's another consideration. At the moment, all the baby formula's gone off the shelves.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that.
That's crazy. That's craziness. But this is just another thing that Allah's doing this, and He's just pulling in the strings, so to speak.
But you know what, David? You know what? You're gonna laugh, but you know what? To me, it's good because the women will start breastfeeding the babies and getting the natural.
Yes.
What they're supposed to get natural and not depending on GMO, okay, and products that biochemicals that are inside of this, so they can force to go back. I think it's a good thing, but
yes, it is a good thing. We need to get back to the basics, though, about educating our children about the need to self-influence all their fluids first, because if you don't spin your fluid with this 3-finger technique for just 13 seconds, then anything you're going to do in your life is going to be for naught eventually. You need to start south spinning your fluids, because when you south spin your fluids, Clifton, you can remain in the physical form for up to 1,000 years. And then you can have a long and healthy and fulfilling lifetime here and learn everything you're supposed to learn. Even if you're a gay or a lesbian, a dyslexic, you know, even if you're transgender, you can remain in the body and learn what you did wrong, and we could get along here, all of us. Because I'll tell you, Clifton, what Joseph shared with me recently was, I asked him, what the heck would you want this barbaric planet to join your Federation of Planets for if you guys are all peaceful?
Yeah.
And you know what he told me?
What?
He told me that the Earth is the jewel of the universe for food, entertainment, movies, acting, all the talents, all are in the reincarnates that come here. This is the last planet in our universe where you can reincarnate. So we have the most vacations. Come and enjoy.
What's going on? Yeah, you're freezing out.
If we do, we can join the Galactic Federation, and it can be a big.
Oh, what happened, my friend David? Are you back? Okay. You know what, David? I want to get a couple plugs in, but before I get them plugs in, we got to know how to get to your YouTube page. We got to know how to get to your Facebook page. We got to know it.
Just go to youtube.com/C/David L. Kas on the YouTube, or go to Facebook and friend me David Kas, and I'll accept and send you all this information and more as I get it.
Hey,
You know, there's always something happening, Clifton.
Yo, he's my brother from mother. You know, and you know what? Me and David have been knowing each other for years. You know what? I always enjoy it. Always, he's a very intelligent man. But I got to give a couple plugs, David. I got to do
Sure.
it. You know, I want to say, you know what, Shaymar, I see this T-shirt, Shaymar Media Productions. I'm gonna send you one, David.
I'll have it on.
We do video productions in Chicago. We make television shows. We make podcasts, and we always looking for contributors to help out with the broadcast and make a donation. But most of all, make a prayer. You know, include us in your prayers and your salats. And you know what I'm gonna say? The Muslim Journal. Thank you. It's a Muslim Journal. It's a Chicago newspaper. Thank you for becoming a sponsor of the Underground Railroad and the Citizen newspaper. You know what? Bad. Okay, they in Chicago, and Stan the man when you want your hair cut in Chicago. I know somebody. He says 7900. Okay, South Jeffrey. Okay, and also Rick's Muffler Shop. Okay, and 89. I mean 89. I think 8300 commercial. And you know what? We're always looking for sponsors. We're looking for sponsors, and we want to grow this platform. But I know that, you know what, I may ask, but I know that no matter what happens, I'm not going to get any more than what Allah wants me to have. And whatever Allah has allotted for me, you know, that's sufficient. Okay. But you know what? We're winding down, and please, man, and I have to ask you, David, there may be something a message that you want to convey to the audience that I didn't give you the opportunity to do. And by you have the floor. There may be something that you want to say that I didn't give you the opportunity to say.
Well, I just wanted to let all of you know that even though we were all snookered by the Diebold and the Dominion machines, we've got the proof that China's Wuhan lab sent the signal that night. So everybody should know the game's up. We need another election by manual counted ballots, and then we will know who will be president.
But before you slip on up out of here, tell us your contact information one more time. I can't let you leave without you giving that information.
You go to YouTube, you go to Facebook, or if you got something really hot to send me, send it to CaasDavid4@gmail.com, and I'll get back with you if it's really, really important. But otherwise, just take a look at those two sites, and you can become informed and then inform others. That's what the important thing is to spread the news now.
You know, I'm gonna do some editing to this, and maybe I get this on YouTube, but I'm gonna have to cut some.
Yeah. Hey,
I gotta cut something out.
Anything bad?
I got
some good stuff.
Oh, I mean, you know something, man. It's let's just say on YouTube, it's been an experience. They have taught me something. And
I like the YouTube because I got on there 20 years ago, Clifton, and I've been on ever since. And they send me little update messages going, "Great job, thumbs up," and whatnot. So I figured it's all good for me.
Well, they gave me a spanking, brother.
Well, that's because maybe you're going a little bit outside the boundaries.
You know what? They ain't got to worry about me doing it no more. They ain't got to worry about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we don't have to say anything that's questionable. We're just talking the truth always.
The virus shot, if you want to get it, fine. If you don't want to get it, that's your decision. You know, that's your decision. You know, I ain't gonna. You know what? I ain't gonna get off into that no more.
If you want to pay $15 for gas like they do in Germany, just watch. It's going to keep going up.
You know what, David? When we talk about the gas in California, how high do you? I think the gas is personally gonna go to $10.
I do too.
How high do you think the gas?
I think $10 by the end of this year. Maybe sooner. Maybe sooner.
So it ain't no joy. It ain't no joyride no more.
No, no. Oh, you know what else? You know what else was Governor DeSantis down in Florida is making Disneyland, Disney World pay their fair share. Pay your fair share on taxes. So it's like Disney ain't getting away with all that shenanigans for free now. You know.
Let y'all know this is the after show.
I think Disneyland's going to end up being the biggest bucket of all for losing money, other than that cryptocurrency. You know, they're trying to tell you Bitcoin's coming back, but don't you believe it? Don't you believe it?
Brother, the dollar, I'm going to show you something, man. You know what? These bills that I'm going to show you, these are fiat dollars. You know what? They not backed by anything. Anything. We came off the gold standard, the silver standard during the Nixon administration. These are not backed by anything.
You can. I'll accept dinars. A dinar is fine for paying off debts with me. I'll take that.
Yeah, you know, if I'd been smart, I would have bought some gold and silver, brother.
Yeah, you would. Hey, but the only trouble is, all these things, Clifton, you know, we can pile it all up, and if we die tonight, yeah, who gets it? Somebody else grabs it, and they're trying to pile it up. So I don't worry about it.
I want to tell the people out there, all you people out there that really, really want money, get closer to God, because in the end, this ain't gonna make no difference anyway. You know, because if you don't get closer to your Creator, Allah, you know what? This is not gonna save you from the hellfires. This is not going. Your wife is not gonna save you. Your cousin is not gonna save you. Your son is not gonna save you. Your car's not gonna save you. I got to throw some Islam in there now. You know that.
Well, you know, Clifton, on the day of self-judgment, what I found out is only the males stand in self-judgment, whether they did good or bad in all their incarnations. The 7 females with every male, they don't stand in self-judgment. But if the male makes the judgment day, they, with him, get eternal life granted to them, and they get their own planet to begin to raise up their own baby spirits through the reincarnation process until they reach their day of self-judgment.
You know what I like about me and you? We had different views, but we get along.
You
know what? We get along. You know what? We have different viewpoints, but we get along. And you know what? That I like. Well, brother, I'm gonna have to sign on off, because you know what? It's time for the Muslims to pray. In the United States, in Chicago, Illinois, right now, it is Maghrib. Maghrib is the 4th prayer in Salat. In Isha is the last Salat. And you know what? I'm finna bow down, because I beg Allah for mercy. Because I'm deaf, I'm dumb, I'm blind, I'm ignorant, and I'm crazy. And it's a disease in my heart.
Yes, it's coming from the heart.
So, and I'm gonna say Assalamu alaikum. You got any finishing words? And then I got to go pray. I got to do it, brother.
All of you have a wonderful evening out there, and thank you, Clifton. You are the boss.
No, you are the bomb. I'm gonna tell you something. What I always say about him, he although he's a different color, he's my brother from another mother.
That's right. All right, Clifton, you have a fantastic night, brother, and I shall be talking with you soon.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to him for a minute, brother. Okay, and thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Okay, and you know what, David Kas, I want y'all to tune in. Go to his website. Go to his YouTube website. Go to his Facebook website, because it is in the description. And I have to say to the Muslims that are being persecuted in remote places, in China and England, where they're doing things against them, Anjum Chowdhury. But I'm going to say Assalamu alaikum, and although Ramadan is over, and you know what, those that are tuning in, I like to say Eid Mubarak, and I hope that y'all had a great Ramadan. And the good things that came out of me came from Allah, and the bad things that came out of me came from myself. I'm not a scholar, but I understand. Ashadu la ilaha illallah, ashadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. I understand that there is no God but Allah. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last prophet. I understand, and I only hope that when I die, to die as a Muslim. And no matter what your denomination is, I pray that you keep me in your prayers. So while I am in the dunya on earth, that I may continue to give doubt, to give understanding, to give clarity about Islam with my little, little, little knowledge. Because they're experts out there, and I never claimed to be an expert. But I believe there is no God but Allah, and I believe that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last prophet. I believe it. And so I'll say goodbye, and I humbly say that. And please, I'm going to put the links in there. If you want to send something to my PayPal, send something. If you want to include me in your prayers, say your salats, please. But I know that no matter what I ask for, I will get exactly what Allah wants me to have, and whatever Allah doesn't want me to have, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay if I lose everything. If I lose everything and I got the ropes of Allah to hold on to, all this ain't gonna make no difference anyway. Once Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, our angel Gabriel, come back, and let me get that after. Once our Gabriel comes back and blows the horn on the day of Yamakiyama, on the day of judgment, this ain't gonna make no difference anyway. So to the enemies out there, you plan, but Allah plans. And Allah is the best planner. So see, enemy, when you plan, there's also a third party involved. And you know what? Allah knows. Assalamu alaikum. Yes. Oh, okay. Tell him to give me a minute. Okay, I'm still on the broadcast. Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's my granddaughter, y'all, and she can call anytime she wants to. Okay. Okay. And you know what? I will get whatever Allah wants me to have and whatever Allah doesn't want me to have. It's okay. It's okay. If I lose everything, as long as I hold on to the ropes of Allah, I'm still rich. I'm not talking about the money. I'm not talking about that. My deen in Islam is more important than anything that I possess. And to other Muslims out there, you may be rich, you may be powerful, but if you abandon Islam in your belief system, you are apostate. You are apostate. And I'm not gonna add anything else. You are amongst the losers. You will be I laugh and joke, but I take Islam serious, but I'm not an expert. But you are amongst the losers. When it's in Quran, it says that Christians and Jews have nothing to fear. You see, when they make that statement talking about the Christians that understand not to elevate Jesus to a godlike status, not to say that he died on the cross. The true Christian on a day of judgment understands that and he has nothing to fear. She has. So don't get it twisted, saying you thinking that that applies to everything and everybody. Oh no, if you have elevated, the Bible does not say. It does not say that Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, ever said he was God. Did not say that. And if you can show that to me, you know what? I take off my little kufi and come to Islam. I mean, come to Christianity. But you can't show that to me. But I just want y'all, don't get it confused. Because you know something. It's just the climate in the United States is not going to get any better because man and woman has deviated off the path of God. I don't care who your mayor is. I don't care who your next police chief is. I don't care who your next senator is. Because they believe in alcohol. They believe in gambling. And the Creator is not pleased with that. But let's like if I got a child, and I tell my child not to do something. At some point when they don't listen, I'm gonna have to spank, spank, spank because that's what's going on worldwide. Because people have deviated from the path of God. So you can say it's gonna get better, but you know what? That's not what the revelations say. The revelations, but in order for the revelations to be fulfilled, how can it get any better? You know, one day you teach me, tell me I'm wrong. It's okay. You know, I'm a big boy. I can take it, but I can read. And I believe that there is no God but Allah. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last prophet. And I ain't gonna argue with you because you know you got the right. There's no compulsion in Islam. You got the right to believe what you want to believe. But all I'm doing is just putting it on out there. Maybe somebody come to Islam and I just happen not mean blessings because somebody embraced the deen and I may get the blessings the size of the atom. That may be the very thing to keep me from the hell. I'm scared to go to hell. Yes, I am. Not scared. I'm terrified. Like I say, I'm gonna get up, do Mama Grill, and do Isha. And that's a lot. So, you know what? Y'all can take it or leave it alone. I know where I stand. You know, you can take it or leave it alone. But think about it, consider it. So I'm gonna say Assalamu alaikum to everyone. People in the United States, Canada, Central America, Brazil, Peru, Egypt, Africa, Europe, Asia, in Mecca, okay, in Australia, okay, in the UK, Islam for the UK, yeah, Jim Chattery, and the North Pole and the South Pole, out of South Pole and the North Pole. I don't know who's listening to me up there, but you say you'd be surprised if you're listening. But you know what? But support these, and like I say, support. You know what? Thank you for everything, and thank you for the support. Thank you for the prayer. Those that don't want to pray for me, it's okay. Those that don't want to help me in my works, it's okay. Because you know what? I give whatever Allah wants me to have. And whatever Allah doesn't want me to have, I can't obtain it anyway. I'm gonna show y'all something. I can pass out thousands of business cards. But you know what? I'm not gonna get any, I'm gonna get exactly what Allah has allotted for me. And it's okay. It's okay. To all the naysayers, it's cool. Because you know what? I ain't trying to please you. Actually, to the naysayers, thank you, because you done made me stronger. You done made me stronger than I ever was. Thank you. Thank you. You know? When the rough, the rough get going. You've helped me. Thank you to all the naysayers, all the people that put me down, because you know what, you helped me grow, and you helped me get strong. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to my mother out there, and my father, and my wife. You know, and I don't put them before our own. And thank you, because it said in the Quran, it said paradise lies at that mother's feet. And that's just how it is. You know, people may come and go, but your mother gonna be there after everybody's gone. Everybody should be standing up there in court. You and killed somebody and saying he was a good boy. So paradise lies at mother's feet, and the woman is the first teacher. The nation will rise no higher. You know, when you see a corrupt woman, you're gonna see a corrupt nation. That's what's going on in the USA. So I'm going to reach out in the words of Assalamu alaikum, and I'm going to tomorrow try to get somebody on, but whatever, inshallah, if it's tomorrow, Assalamu alaikum.